control the oil, you control the world. Why was the Roman Empire so powerful? Olive oil. How did John D. Rockefeller become the richest man in the world? Crude oil. How did y'all boy Puff throw the greatest parties of all time?
Puff was standing right there and he snatched Puff off his feet. It's the first time I ever seen a man dangling in the air off their feet with one hand. Suge had him with one hand and was shaking them like, what's up, little bitch?
In the late 90s, two of the most popular names in hip-hop weren't even rappers. They were record label executives. One of them is the shiny suit dancing party boy.
Watch the rear view. Run down, run down, run down, run down. We got to block to make sure that nobody's trailing.
While the other is a 6'3", 335-pound known gangster that everybody feared.
Isn't Suge a little unhinged?
I don't know.
He ran someone over like twice.
I don't know about that, but one of the funniest stories I heard, Suge had an apartment full of producers. I guess they wasn't coming up with the right songs. Yeah. And he gathered them all up and said, look, either y'all start producing some hits or I'm gonna start producing some hits.
Suge Knight was the crazy, unhinged CEO who rolled heavy with Mexican gangsters, while Diddy was the shiny suit wearing, dancing in music videos, and allegedly did some weird things. So with the beef between Suge Knight and Diddy, everyone thought that Suge was the dangerous one. I mean, why would you be scared of a man who called other men daddy?
I got Mr. Lee.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag?
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you
right
scrambling
here,
and scraping for shit.
No,
I like that.
Look back on where I became.
Did you miss me though? For real, because I'm saying it seems like a thing with this
partying
birthday
with
party,
Puff, man.
But I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying?
Back in the 90s when the beef was on, we all had Suge Knight nailed on as the one to cause chaos. I mean, this was the man who brought out the hood in Eminem.
So Suge came, he had some Mexican. Now we from New York. You ain't never seen a with a tattoo on his forehead. 118th Street crew. I'm like, got a tattoo on his face, homie. That's the first time, like before Lil Wayne and all that. That's the first time I seen a like tattoo on his eyes. Mexican, 18th Street. So Suge just got the cigar. He just like that. He's like a pressure guy. That's why he got into the shit he got into lately, because he's like a pull up, light a cigar, and you see tattoos on their face, but we like, damn, what we got to lose? If we don't pop now, we going back to the hood. It's back to the hood. So it's like, fight these Mexican killer. He's got the shit on their forehead, eyes. 118th. Or go back home to the crib. Might as well go all out, fight right here. We around Dr. Dre. So it's like, yo, we gotta do what we gotta do.
So what happened? He lights the cigar and then...
He just lights the cigar, and it's the shit about Suge. He light the cigar and he trying to see what you gonna do. So Eminem, 50, everybody outside, light the cigar. I was bugging because I seen, this is when I knew Eminem was real. He's like, I don't give a man. This is when I knew, I'm like, damn, Eminem is a real. These niggas outside, what's up? Suge just walked away. The Mexican looked kind of confused, like they didn't know what's going on. Just came outside. Eminem came outside 100%.
Oh, what did I miss? Okay.
And Eminem was like, yo, I don't give a man. Give a man. Because you remember, it's documented. Proof told Suge, yo, you killed Tupac in the middle of a party.
Then he pulled up on Eazy-E in the hotel room and had that Jimmy Fallon interview laughing about the idea of Eazy getting injected with AIDS.
Technology is so high, right?
Right.
So if you shoot somebody, you go to jail forever. So the kids, you don't want to go to jail forever, right? So they got this new thing out there. People sell them all the time. They got this stuff they get blood from somebody with AIDS, and then they shoot you with it.
Oh, so that seems bad.
That's a slow death.
Yeah.
An easy thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Suge was also the guy who was crazy enough to dangle superstars from a 15th floor balcony.
Suge took me out on the balcony, started talking to me personally. On the balcony? On the balcony, high above, like 15 floors. He had me look over the edge, show me how high I was up there.
You scared?
I needed to wear a diaper on that day. I was very scared.
Everyone in the industry was scared of this former football player who was now the CEO of one of the biggest labels in the industry. And it wasn't just people like Vanilla Ice that he used to pull up on. Even the leader of the Terror Squad confirmed how dangerous Suge was.
They was not scared of Suge Knight. They was terrified of Suge Knight.
Right.
I mean, terrified.
I know.
No, to death.
To death. Wow.
Bought out the contract. Master
P went to go visit Suge Knight in the penitentiary and struck a deal because everybody else was scared of that.
Right.
Everybody, that's when Suge Knight was the monster, the boogeyman. Right. That's when he was the boogeyman.
So P went?
P went to go see him, struck a deal.
Suge was the boogeyman. And back in the 90s, Puffy was just a young CEO from Harlem. But Suge took it to another level when he stepped on stage at the 1995 Source Awards.
And one other thing I like to say, any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
Diddy stated that he confronted Suge about this statement at the after party.
You know, this is where the after party's at, of course, at the world famous tunnel.
Right.
And so then when I ran up and I asked him, and he said, nah, I was talking about Jermaine Dupri. And I was just like, wow. Yeah, I was just like.
Wait, hold on, what?
Yeah, I was just like.
Yeah, I never heard this.
I was just like, he just said it wasn't me, it was Jermaine Dupri. Wow. And so, you know,
this is on TMZ
yeah.
Wait, he said that then at that moment after?
No, he said that
yeah.
night.
I mean, when I stepped to him about it,
okay.
I mean, I hadn't stepped to him about it.
Puff just say he stepped to Suge. Let's make some noise of that.
But because of who Suge Knight was at the time, nobody believed Diddy was the kind of man to make him switch up his words. Back then, Suge was the man no one wanted to cross. But in 2025, time has proven that Diddy is the guy we all should have been worried about all along. Now we all know that Puffy is that crazy. But now this doesn't mean that Suge is a saint, a good guy, or that he is not as dangerous as many people said he was. But with some of the things coming out of the Diddless trial, he almost makes the things Suge did look like child's play. See, the difference between Brother Love and Suge Knight is that while Suge's approach seems to make a lot of noise and give him a reputation, Diddy prefers to move in the shadows. He changed his name to Love. Even his last album was named The Love Album. And to the world and in front of the cameras, he just wanted to spread love.
So there's been the Puff Daddy era, the P Diddy era. Then I dropped the P, then it was the Diddy era.
Yeah.
And now, this is the ultimate goal. I have become love. And it's love versus hate. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And I choose love. That's my new name, and love wins. Love wins, let's go, y'all.
But the Diddy trial has revealed that behind the scenes, he was allegedly responsible for several crimes against a lot of people. One of the people who have tried to expose him several times is Diddy's worst nightmare, 50 Cent.
All y'all was there looking at that shit. That's why I don't be going to the Puffy parties. He can hug you from the front and the back at the same time. What you talking about? I mean, look, if you into that, I'm fine with it. To each his own. I'm just saying this shit. Down the party. You know, like uncomfortable. I think I belong in the girls' bathroom. And shit like that is going on.
I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. I always say the wrong thing. Last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? You saw that clip? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that kind of shit. I've been talking to a therapist to try to help me with the shit I be saying. I said crazy shit on my mouth for no reason. No motherfucking reason. Oh wait, maybe I said that shit about Poetic because he got Tupac.
One of the people that has testified against Diddy during his current trial is his former assistant, Capricorn Clark. Capricorn Clark was Diddy's assistant for more than a decade. During her testimony, she alleged that she was kidnapped by Diddy, and she also revealed that Diddy had a problem with 50 Cent. She stated that Diddy called 50's manager Chris Lighty, telling him that he had a gun, which was also Diddy's way of saying that he was ready to use it or that he was coming for 50 Cent. Capricorn also revealed that before becoming Diddy's assistant, she actually used to work for Suge. Brother Love allegedly took her to Central Park on her very first day on the job and said, "Since you worked for Suge Knight, if anything happens, I might have to kill you."
Hey, Suge, so Capricorn says that she was threatened, essentially threatened with death when Diddy found out that she had worked with you. So how it feels like this was a war that involved, getting rid of people almost. I mean, that's the way I'm receiving it. What about you?
I mean, anytime somebody don't want to face somebody, it always the next plan is the two things that happen. Either they send you to prison or they kill you. Well, I'm not dead. Been shot a lot of times, but I am in prison.
Before the trial started, Suge himself had actually revealed that Diddy allegedly abused Capricorn Clark.
Shit. Same time he beat the shit out of what's a little girl named Cassie or whatever. He had an assistant by the name of Capricorn. He felt Capricorn. Cap was keeping this shit on the low about if she was messing with Cuddy or not. Puffy beat the shit out that bitch.
And while most people were scared of Suge Knight, Diddy allegedly made multiple attempts on Suge's life. While giving her testimony, Cassie stated that during one of their freak-offs in LA, one of Diddy's men, D-Rock, came in and told him that Suge was at a restaurant called Mel's Diner. Diddy left the freak-off immediately, grabbed several guns from his safe, ran out of his home, and drove to the location. But Suge had left before Diddy arrived.
Testified that he saw, and he was overworked, and that he saw things that just didn't make sense, and that he had to run down on Suge Knight, or would have if Suge Knight would have actually been there.
I was thinking about that. If all of this stuff is true, Suge Knight ain't had nothing on this.
What you mean?
You think so?
Suge
Or do we
Knight has
just
always been known as the boogeyman of hip hop. But if all of this stuff is true, Suge ain't had nothing on Diddy.
Oh, you mean as far as the type of person they are?
Being a boogeyman.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like bad boy for real.
Diddy was the man who hunted the boogeyman. And although most people saw Suge as the boogeyman, allegedly Diddy was the psychopath that was obsessed with taking out his enemy. While Suge was all in your faces, bullying people, moving around with gangsters, dissing people at award shows, and carving out that gangster persona that people were scared of, your boy Diddy was moving like a kingpin. Suge is a straight shooter, but the diddler is allegedly that evil, sneaky fella that will just creep up on ya. During this period, the beef between Suge and Diddy was an all-out war. And for your boy Brother Love, it was on sight wherever he met Suge or whenever he met Suge.
The prosecution made it appear that Diddy was going to confront you in a very ominous way with 3 guns in the car when he went back to Mel's Diner. Did you guys have serious beef to the point where he might have used those guns, do you think?
If you'd have confronted me and he had a gun, you best believe he was going to have to use it, or something was going to happen. If he had 3 guns, it's really just something was going to happen.
Had the disputes between the two of you escalated to the point where there could have been violence?
When you're dealing with drugs, alcohol, and even fear, some people feel if they scared enough, they feel they got to do something. They can't do it with their hands, so they got to make sure they bring guns.
Do people bring guns to use them or to protect themselves in a situation like this?
If you got the serial number shade off, you best believe they're supposed to be to use them.
Sure, can I ask, when you were at Mel's Diner that night, were you armed?
Harvey, you know I will always tell you, I'm in prison, I probably was armed with my Bible. Other words, you know I ain't gonna answer that question, Harvey.
Initially, Diddy and Suge's rivalry was just a rap beef, but the beef became a street war after the death of Suge's best friend, Ja Hassan Jamal Robles, aka Big Jake. Big Jake was a respected name in the streets. He was a member of the Campanella Park Pirates, a real OG, and he was perhaps Suge Knight's closest friend. And Big Jake was really about the street life.
My name is Jake, you know what I'm saying? I'm from West Side, Campanella Park, Pyro, you know. Been, you know, doing this here type of lifestyle since I was about 13 years old, you know, and been through the penitentiary systems, all the little juvenile system, 5 years, 6 years in the state, you know, and I'm just gonna kick a little something. Everybody wanna know why people bang, why people kill, why people do this, sell dope, and you can't just look at the individuals, because, you know, you have to look at the environment that they're set in that creates these conditions for them to have to live and do the things that they do. And so we just kicking it like that. You know, we ain't out here essing on our chest, but you know, it's like everybody out here want to be a tough guy, killer, a gangster, you understand? But most of the killers and gangsters I know either got all day or dead.
But word on the street is that Diddy is responsible for the death of Big Jake.
I knew Wolf to be Puff's right-hand man, that if anything jump off, he's gonna be there and he's gonna defend it.
I heard a bunch of commotion and people running and screaming and whatnot.
And I got a call about 2 in the morning saying that he had gotten shot, and you know, I need to get out there.
By the time he did pass away, you know, the word was going around in Atlanta that, you know, he was an OG blood and that he was like real gangster. Like,
after Jake got killed, Death Row already came in banging. Now Bad Boy, by them hiring Southside Crips, they were starting to bang too now.
The incident that led to Big Jake's death happened at Jermaine Dupri's birthday party. Almost all the big names in the hip-hop scene at the time were at this club for the birthday party. Diddy was at the event with his bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones, while Suge had only Big Jake as his security.
It was just him and Jake out there at that time. Suge didn't want to, at that time, he didn't want to take nobody but Jake. Just him and Jake went out there, and it was supposed to have been on business.
And after turning his attention on the night of the party, Suge was dishing out slaps like he was Rick James.
So we walk in, and it's Jermaine Dupri, his security, Puff with Wolf. And Jake looks in and see these guys, right? I'll never forget that bend over. He looked over, he looked at that door and seeing that they was in there. Came right to the. He went back and got Suge. Suge came back. Boom, 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 boom. He came right in and slapped the out of Jermaine Dupri. Wow! Jermaine ran out the goddamn club. You know, my boy Jermaine. Shout out Jermaine. It was no way he could even compete with that because he slapped his security too. They beat his security. The nigga supposed to be protecting them. And, oh man, it was a nightmare.
And after dealing with Jermaine Dupri, he turned his attention to Brother Love. He snatched him off his floor and had him dangling in mid-air. Just dangling.
So then we like, oh, snap, right? And Puff was standing right there and he snatched Puff off his feet. It's the first time I ever seen a man dangling in the air off their feet with one hand. Suge had him with one hand and was shaking them like, what's up, little bitch? You've been flying all around the country since you had me go in there and do that thing for you. What's up with Mary J. Blige Publishing? What's up with Jodeci Publishing?
Fortunately for Diddy, his bodyguard was able to stand up to Suge and grab Diddy out of his grasp.
Then Wolf reached over and grabbed him. Wolf is so gangster. He said, boom, Suge ain't going down like this no more. And enough was enough. And he brought Puff out the air, set him back on his feet. And him and Puff went at it with Suge. They both went at it with him, right?
But rather than separate them or stop this fight, the club owner locked all 4 men in the room to let their fists do the talking.
He comes up like, V, what you want to do? You want to squash this? Don't you want to squash this, V? He go, no. I'm like, what? He said, I got a room for this. We like, nah. Let them niggas fight it out. So we went up, we had a room upstairs, and then we just shoot dice in there. We go up there, and it was Suge, Puff, Wolf, and Jake with V walked into the room. We stood out, let them go in, and held the door down where everybody was watching. And all you can hear was boom, 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 boom. They was in there fighting like, and all of a sudden V opened the door, and there goes Suge and Puff standing there like this, hugged up. We like, oh, these niggas worked that out. They worked that stuff. They was like, quick.
Everyone thought they had worked out their issues after this. But the night only gets worse from here. What happens next is a well-planned attack and will become one of the smoothest shootouts you would ever hear. A gunman starts shooting from across the street to create a distraction. And just when everyone had dropped their guard, then out of nowhere, another shooter put several bullets in Big Jake.
I could see it, the tour bus across the street. We standing there, Suge's in front of, with Puff, they walking to the limo, hugged up. Jake and Wolf is walking behind them. All of a sudden, somebody started shooting across the street, and I knew Mark was at the front of the gates.
Yeah, I'm at the front.
I know he was up there
fine.
strapped. Then all of a sudden, the dude just came out of nowhere. Where everybody was looking that way, this dude came out of nowhere and flashed like the Flash and spent, and he touched Jake with that gun. I never seen that shit before. Them New York niggas is the coldest killing niggas I ever seen in history. It was that kill, that play. It was called the play for the overlay. They started shooting across the street to make everybody look. We looked, the dude came out of nowhere and just touched Jake. And Jake was about 400 pounds. He hit him like what, 4 times, 7 times?
5.
I mean, he just kept shooting, just touching him, bop, bop, bop. But the whole time he was looking at Suge like, you next, nigga. And we like, oh shit. And I'm standing right behind him. We like, it's happening so fast. And then he pulled out on Suge to blast Suge.
That's why he looking at him like, yo, this should have been you, but I can't get you right now, but I got him.
To let you know.
Yeah, but letting you know.
That's why he looked at him like that.
That's why he would look, because he couldn't do nothing to him because Puff was right there.
So hold on. So then he drew down on Suge to give it to him, and Suge snatched Puff.
Suge Knight only survived this incident because of how quick he had to think on his feet. Now, fam, I'm not gonna tell you that I know who was behind the attack, but don't you think it's just a weird coincidence that the shooter didn't shoot because he grabbed the diddler and used him as a body shield?
That's why he looking at him like, yo, this should have been you, but I can't get you right now, but I got him.
To let you know.
Yeah, but letting you know.
That's why he looked at him like that.
That's why he would look, because he couldn't do nothing to him because Puff was right there.
So hold on. So then he drew down on Suge to give it to him, and Suge snatched Puff.
Now these are the incidents that let you know just how crazy the man Sean Diddy Combs was and how dangerous he still is. Now, Diddy threatened to throw people in the East River and made it clear that he was ready to take out anyone, and he believed that he was above the law. Now, y'all know the biggest irony in this whole story is that Diddy and Suge may actually end up spending the rest of their lives together. And some might even call that poetic justice. Now, Suge Knight is already serving a 28-year sentence. And let's just say if Diddy is sentenced, I mean, let's look at this. Suge Knight may be looking forward to having his old sparring partner as his celly.
Puffy, I don't want to see you go down. But if you need a celly, I'm going to grant your ass my seal, boy. Had your cook game working, I don't want no head, but you're going to be cleaning toilets at the same time.
So, yo, y'all let me know what y'all think about this crazy, insane story. All right, so go ahead, put your thoughts in the comments, like this story, share this story, hey, and subscribe to the channel. And while you're subscribing and liking and sharing and all that good stuff, there's some good merch that you can go ahead and buy. Go ahead, it's right there. Click, check it out. You'll like it. Until then, peace and blessings.